Hello everyone and welcome along to a very, very cold Ibrox where Rangers have just beaten St Mirren 2-0. My name is Craig Dennett and I'm joined here on the gantry at Ibrox by Ross Chalmers. How you doing, Ross, and how did you find that game?
I'm freezing. I'm absolutely freezing. I sent a tweet out earlier actually saying I can't feel my fingers, so yeah, I'm very much in the same position. I think overall, Craig, we'll obviously get stuck into some of the points, but I think that was a really good performance from Rangers today. Actually, I thought it was pretty dominant in what Philippe Clement would say. So, start to finish, I think the team looked a lot better than they did on Thursday night, and I think that's what we needed. St Mirren actually looked pretty good in stages as well, so Rangers handled them well, and look, it's 3 points and we keep going. 2-0 result, I think, is a really positive one.
Yes, St Mirren are a team who have been in good form recently. I think they had a chance to go just 3 points behind us last weekend, so it was always going to be a tough game. They always give us a good game here. I remember they scored two towards the end of last season, wasn't it, when we were here as well. So it's good to get the win. The pressure was on after the lunchtime result as well, so it's good to see us turn up and get the 3 points and keep that gap to 8 points with a game in hand. Ross, a couple of key points I think to look at. Firstly, before we come on to Todd Cantwell and Abdallah Sima, let's talk a wee bit about Cyril Dessers and the fact he started. I, for one, was not happy that he was starting. I think it's fair to say. Yeah, I read the full team sheet, and the last name that my phone would not show me was Cyril Dessers, and I was really positive about the fact that Lawrence was in there and Cantwell was in there, and we were playing those sort of two number 10s. Effectively, Lawrence turned into an 8 and Cantwell the 10, which I think worked well actually, to be fair. But Cyril Dessers, what do you make of him today?
I thought in the first 20 minutes, I think it was what we've seen from Cyril Dessers so far. It just looked a yard short with everything. I mean, there was some times where Abdallah Sima was knocking the ball down to him and he just wasn't able to react to it quick enough. I think as the first half went on, you started to see a wee bit more from him. Something that he did do well today was he worked hard. He worked hard off the ball, and I think that's what you want from someone that's struggling with form. But I think on the right-hand side for the first goal, he does it really, really well. It's a good pass down the line. He holds his man off. He shows a bit of pace as well. He cuts back onto his right foot, should I say, and he plays in Todd Cantwell, who ends up making the space for the goal. So, look, I think there's always going to be frustration around Cyril Dessers because he isn't Danilo, and he's just not shown anywhere near enough as Danilo yet. But these are the games today.
Is Danilo shown enough?
Probably not. He probably isn't. We've probably got two strikers at the moment that just are really, really struggling. They both just seems to be lacking in sharpness. I think that's all round from the strikers at the moment. But today, I think this was a good game from today. I think Rangers were, we said this before, right? But I think Rangers were always expected to get the result today. I'm sure they were going to when I was coming to the ground today. And I think these are the games I would probably bring him into. Maybe there's not as much pressure involved and he can try and find his feet. And I think he did in spells in that first half. And I think he looked okay in the second half before he went off the wheel. So I think the manager will look at it as pretty positive today for Cyril Dessers. He wasn't sparkling, he wasn't, a 9 out of 10, an 8 out of 10, whatever, but I think he came in and he'd done his job for his team today, and that's what you want. A little bit of squad rotation, comes in, makes an impact for the goal. That's what you're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah, let's talk about that first goal. It was great ball down the line, good running from Cyril Dessers, as you just mentioned. He plays in a nice reverse pass inside to Todd Cantwell, who I actually thought had messed up the chance. I thought he'd tried to take on one too many St Mirren players in the box, but it just landed nicely for Abdallah Sima to get back in the score sheet. A player that's not hit the heights recently. I think the fact he's just had a baby has been mentioned about 40 million times in the past week or so, just by Philippe Clement, never mind the fans. But it was a really good finish, and it was right time as well. 43 minutes just before half time. Great time to break the deadlock.
Best time for Rangers to score, the worst time if you're Stephen Robinson for St Mirren. You're devastated with that because, like I said, I thought St Mirren were okay in the first half in terms of Rangers didn't create great chances. They didn't really do much themselves, but they kind of limited Rangers. So yeah, perfect time to score. I think, we'll touch with the actual finish as well. Great finish from Sima. We've seen that before when he comes onto the ball on that left hand side. He does have a good finish on him. We've seen it hit that right hand side of the net plenty of times, but I think that goal was really for me about Todd Cantwell, where it did look like he'd made a mistake, but it's the drive in that position I really like. I want someone as a number 10 to take risks. I want someone to keep going regardless of how much they lose the ball, and I think that kind of summed up for Todd Cantwell. He kept going today and he got his rewards in that first half. He set up the goal, so really, really positive day. I'm sure we'll maybe touch on it again with the next goal, but it's a really positive day for Todd Cantwell specifically, and a fantastic finish from Abdallah Sima.
Yeah, let's talk about the second goal quickly then before we come on to Todd Cantwell's performance as a whole. second goal was midway through the second half time. We were talking about how important it was just get that I guess the clincher of the game to take the wind out of St Mirren's sails or any hope away from some sort of late comeback, and just put the fans at ease as well for that one. So second goal, Todd Cantwell has the ball just edge of the centre circle, and he plays a lovely through ball that takes out the full St Mirren defence. Abdallah Sima with his pace runs onto it, and a very, very cool finish from Abdallah Sima, sending the keeper the wrong way into the bottom corner, and 2-0.
Yeah, and I think that's something we are starting to realise with Sima now. I think when he first came in, we weren't really sure that was maybe one of his strong qualities, like his finishing. It was more about his running, his physicality, his 1v1 ability, but I think we've seen it plenty of times now. He does have a good finish on him, Sima. And a really, really good pass from Todd Cantwell. Again, that is exactly summing up why he's got to be Rangers number 10. Maybe he doesn't need to play every single game, but when he plays, he has to be in that position. What I thought was, when you've seen the best of Todd Cantwell today, was when him and Abdallah Sima were kind of interchanging on that left-hand side. Sima would sometimes come inside, maybe hold the ball up, flick it onto Dessers, and Todd Cantwell would peel to the left, and I thought that was really working well for us. So, all round again, just a really, really good goal, and we've seen at times with this Rangers team, when we have opportunities to kill a game, we don't take it, and we just seem to put pressure on ourselves. I think that was really good for the whole team there. Just lifted the pressure off all the players, should I say, and you felt it in the stands as well. The nervousness went, and they really were dominant again through that rest of the second half. So yeah, really good goal again from Rangers, and definitely deserved to be 2-0 up at that stage. Yeah,
we'll come back to talk about the nervousness in the stands and some of the. We'll come back to talk about some of the attitude in the stands, I guess, in a second. But first of all, just to finish off on the Todd Cantwell praise, I guess, Philippe Clement gave him a huge embrace when he came off when he was subbed off with 5 minutes to go. I guess it's probably been a tough week for Todd Cantwell. We've not seen him on social media, which has been a bit of a change, but he's obviously coped with it well, and he's come out today and shown what he can do. How important do you think that is for Cantwell, and what do you make of that, the management of that situation by Clement?
Well, I think it was a really brave decision from Philippe Clement on Thursday. I think I was on record that I wasn't thrilled with it. I think more because of the player that was left on at that point, Sam Lammers. But I think Todd Cantwell's responded in exactly the way he should today. He's came out, he has maybe a wee bit quiet. I've seen the social media post from Rangers today where he came out before the game and he had his hood up, and it just looked to be someone that was just completely focused on making an impact today, and that's exactly what I want. That's what I want from Todd Cantwell. He gets taken out for a reason, the manager explains why, and he comes in today with a point to prove. He's got a point to prove. Okay, well, you're going to play me in the position I want to play every week, and I'm going to show you why you should be playing me here, and that's exactly what he's done. And Philippe Clement, as a manager, deserves credit for that as well, because he's taken him out. Criticism, I criticised him for that decision, and he's brought his player back in today, and he's given the rewards for that. So I think all round, both sides have handled the situation really well. Philippe Clement as a manager has recognised that the player maybe had an arm around the shoulder this week and said, look, I still think you're a big player for me, I want you to go out on Sunday and show me that. And Todd Cantwell's taken that on and went, right, well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you why I should be playing for this team every week as a number 10. So all round, Craig, I think both sides have handled it really well.
Just to finish us off and round off this immediate post-match reaction, I just want to touch on, I guess, the attitude of the fans this week when we were at Ibrox. Both you and I were in our season ticket seats on Thursday night for when Aris were here. There was a very expectant kind of attitude from fans, they expecting us to go out and beat them. We obviously had there was a lot of injuries, there's suspensions there with Goldson, there's numerous reasons why our team was severely weakened on Thursday night. That attitude was there again today, that expectancy. Now, a lot of people will say that you play for Rangers Football Club are expected to win every single game they go into and they play. To me, it's having a negative impact on the team, that expectancy, and actually the fans should be supportive of and get behind the team for the 90 minutes, and then if they don't perform, criticise away after it. We certainly will on this podcast. So but I do think that the attitude of the fans during the game is having an impact on the players, and it's creating a bit of nervousness. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I've definitely been in Ibrox at times where you can feel the nervousness in the crowd. I felt it a little bit today. I think that's always the case when you're playing the SPFL games. There is an expectancy for Rangers to go and win. So it's interesting that Philippe Clement actually kind of mentioned it in his press conference on Thursday. He spoke about it was the first time he felt the nervousness from the crowd, and I suppose that maybe shows the honeymoon period's gone for him, right? And yeah, I agree with what you're saying on the whole. I think the players do feel the effects of Ibrox sometimes. But I can also see the other side of that you are playing for Rangers and you have to get on with that. You know, the crowd are coming here and they expect results and they expect them every single time. Both sides need to help each other. I think that's the best way to put it. I think the manager's touched on that as well. There needs to be a connection between both. Both sides need to help each other. And ultimately, if the players go out and do it, the fans will get behind them. So maybe we need a wee bit more of that. Again, I thought today was a good performance, and I think once the second goal went in, you felt a lift from the crowd. Maybe the players would respond more to that if it was from the start. But it sounds like I'm sitting on the fence here, but I can see both sides of it, to be honest with you. I'm just happy Rangers won today, Craig.
Firmly sitting on the fence there from Ross and not taking a side either way. Right, I think we'll wrap up there. I can't feel my hands, I can't feel my feet. I am absolutely freezing. So make sure to check out all the other content we've got coming up on the TII YouTube channel over the next wee while, and Scott Patterson and the team will be live from 8:30 tonight, which is Sunday night, with our flagship podcast, so make sure to check that out too. Thanks very much, and until next time, goodbye.